So for episode 105, I get all my lore off of Fallout.fandom.com. We're doing the Temple of the Union. It is a small compound in D.C. northwest of Canterbury Commons. It is a haven to all runaway slaves and is run by Hannibal Hamlin. They respect Abraham Lincoln so much they want to set up their HQ at the Lincoln Memorial. It would be easier to defend, and Hamlin will offer to buy any of Lincoln's artifacts that you can find out in the wastes. They also have a statue of Lincoln's head, just there, just chilling.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the one off of the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, kind of. I didn't really go into the quest line too much, but I believe if you do the quest line, you help them take the Lincoln Memorial, and then the head gets put back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Have you ever been to the Lincoln Memorial?
In the real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah, that head is massive.
When I went there, there's writing. If you're looking at Abe from Clone High, to the left is writing on the wall, and the letters are so big that it's probably each letter is probably half the size of me.
Yeah, and it's absolutely massive.
To think that was that built by slaves?
Most likely.
Well, hold on. What year was that erected? Because Lincoln was like, hey, let's not do the slaves anymore. Okay, Google.
Let me...
Google.
Are you doing that on your side?
Google. Yeah, hold on.
Are you trying to do that on mine? I have headphones
hold on. I know you have headphones in, you fuck.
Don't call me a fuck. I'm no...
What year was the Lincoln Monument built?
1922.
1914. According to Ben's guide, the memorial was built between 1914 and 1922, and the theme of the building represents the Union.
Cool.
Yeah, it was opened in 22.
So not slaves.
So not
when
slaves,
was the railroad built? Like the railroads in America? That was the 1800s.
1800s,
I was going to say, all right. Because if it wasn't slaves, it was Chinese immigrants. But that's, what do you call it? So Hannibal Hamlin, he's a 43-year-old abolitionist. He was a slave for 23 years, and he fled his masters at the age of 37. Ever since then, he's done everything in his power to free slaves. Caleb Smith is 32 years old and Hannibal Hamlin's right-hand man, born in 2245 and was a slave until 2269, where he tried to escape. While he was a slave, his owner taught him stone cutting. When he finally escaped, he joined a raider group until he heard of Hamlin, and he was, like I said, Hamlin's first follower. There is Bill Seward. He's a 54-year-old. He's a former slave, and he was a slave for most of his life. He escaped from his masters after accidentally killing their daughter. The master's daughter. Because the way it's written on the wiki, I had to read it like 4 times. Hours later, Hamlin found him and saved him from the waste. He has no combat skills. All he does is he cooks and he cleans, and his culinary skills are awful at best. He takes care of
poor guy.
Yeah, he takes care of the dog and the Brahmin. After a long life of being a subservient guy, those old habits are very hard for him to break. There is Simone Cameron, 26 years old, a mercenary before slaves abducted her, stole her. Slavers, before they put her into slavery. Enslaved her, thanks. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. She was only a slave for 7 months and escaped as soon as she could. She has a total lack of respect for anybody that isn't Hamlin. Fourscore is Hamlin's dog, named after the Gettysburg Address, and his name literally means 80.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what Fourscore meant.
I didn't remember what it meant either.
Fourscore actually shows up in Fallout Shelter. You can have a bunch of different pets and shit, and they'll be named after actual animals, cool. So you can have him, yeah. Then we have Alejandra Torres, 22-year-old historian and tinkerer, implies that she was a sex slave for 4 years. She had a master who taught her some literacy, math, history, and some degree of science, not silence. After her master was married, Hamlin bought her and freed her. She wants to build a She wants to build a shrine to Abe Lincoln, and she wants to make a school for all slaves in the Washington Memorial. Now, I'm not going too much into the quest line of, oh God, what is it called? Oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue. What is the head of state? But I think this is a really, really neat, just kind of small pocket of people. And I know that Fallout 3 doesn't have as in-depth writing as New Vegas or the earlier Fallout games, but what I think they do very well is they make these little vignettes of civilizations.
I like that a lot about Fallout 3. And I think that... Have you ever done this quest line?
Yeah, I've done it once or twice, but I can't remember the last time I did it. It was a long time ago.
I remember doing this quest line on my first playthrough.
Oh,
but
cool.
I don't remember doing it since then.
Really? Yeah, it's a neat one. I mean, it's not revolutionary or anything. I even kind of forgot that it is a quest line because it kind of feels just like just something to see, honestly.
Yeah, like it's just something that's like there.
Yeah. I'm trying to see something real quick. I mean, it's you can side with Hamlin, you can side with the slavers. It's a Fallout 3 quest. Mm-hmm. There's something I want to read here.
It's pretty like black and white most of those.
Yeah.
quests.
There's something I want to read here. I gotta find it. Hold on. So he gives a speech about Lincoln, which I'm gonna play. It'll be right.
Let me tell you the story of Abraham Lincoln. He was born a Tucketeersman. The truth of this mysterious title has been lost, but we know it was a great honor. As a child, he could not bear to see any animal chained or imprisoned. He was even known to set free the family Brahmin on occasion. As a youth, Abraham Lincoln fought raiders in the War of the Blackhawks. When the war ended, he settled down to rule the Lenoi, a small tribe of free men. He grew so famous that one day he was made president. He ruled over all the land. When he declared that all slaves must be freed, the slavers rebelled against his rule. They fought a great war, which Lincoln won. When he came to free the slaves, an assassin of the slavers struck him down. In the confusion, a few of the slavers escaped. Lincoln's generals hunted them, but could not find them. The bombs ended the era of Lincoln. But we will resurrect his voice. We will restore the greatness of his vision, where all men are created equal and all men can live free.
So
Ain't that a story?
I love how it's just like he fought raiders. Imagine Lincoln with like an axe. Like, did you ever see Lincoln Zombie Hunter or Vampire Killer?
I've never seen it, but I have seen like the trailers. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, like I just love that. Like this is, I love history being fucked up because of the way it's just passed down from person to person. Mm-hmm. I think it's so
like
funny.
that oral tradition.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Not a lot I have to go on.
Yeah, there's not really that much.
There's a few
them.
things. Hold on, I want to read these notes quick. The inhabitants are named after Abraham Lincoln's cabinet. Hannibal Hamlin was his vice president. Caleb Smith was his secretary of the interior, and William, or Bill, Seward was the secretary of state. Simon, or Simone, Cameron was the Secretary of War, and the dog Fourscore is named after the opening lines of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent. The name of the Temple of the Union comes from words above Lincoln's statue at the Lincoln Memorial. The passage reads, "In this temple, as the hearts of the people who he saved from the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is enshrined forever." On the block Caleb is working on, the words say, "Temple of the Union" are visible with other words that are faded out. Presumably the block arrived at the building around the same time as the statue's head. The name of the temple is based on the federal government of the United States of America during the Civil War. So just something neat of like, hey, let's take this one culture and see how it would apply to this new culture and see what they like about it. I just like it. I think it's neat.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking neat. I like you said, like the way things get passed down, I think it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
Because like I want to hear what other stories would have looked like if they were passed down like this, and like I don't know. I like can't even imagine.
What would you think of a historic? Are we done with lore? Can I clip this out?
Yeah, I'd say we're done with lore.
Cool. Atomic Radio Hour.